edition of BASTA TV. This is the BASTA 2019 in Mainz, and with me is Julie Lerman. Julie Lerman is an independent software consultant and coach with a history of about more than 30 years in the industry. So she actually knows pretty much about software development and legacy software, and she just gave a keynote here on the BASTA on this topic, and you can find this keynote on our YouTube channel, BASTA Conferences. And now, Julie, we're really happy that you're here. Thank you for that. And we want to talk about software development today. So what I took from your keynote was that about 30 years ago, many people maybe, or 20 years ago, started as a one-man team or one-woman team and wrote software which worked perfectly well and shouldn't last for long. And all the responsibility was on one person. And now I had the impression you can say software development is teamwork. In what way would you see this as a true statement?
I totally agree with that. The landscape of software and the different technologies we can use to really build interesting systems and intelligent systems, there's too much to know, too many things to understand. And so it's really important to have good teams. Even consultants that I know have consulting shops, they might have an expertise in particular things, but not others, but they have a network of people with expertise that they can pull in instead of doing it halfway or trying to figure things out on the fly. But yeah, the landscape is just too big now. Yeah.
So the knowledge that is necessary to build up-to-date software is too widespread. To have it in one pair of shoulders, maybe.
Yeah.
And I think the pace has accelerated somehow. So the versions are coming very fast. Some technologies are introduced this year, and 2 years later they are obsolete for some reason because the market has changed and there are new developments. In this kind of speed, what kind of mindset should one have so that software I write today is not legacy tomorrow?
Well, I think an important approach to protecting yourself from how rapidly things are changing is to build software in, we use the term agile. Use software that can be changed easily. Build software in smaller parts so that those small parts can be changed easily if they need to in a way that doesn't have side effects on the other parts. So, it goes back to disconnected architectures that we've been using for a long time. And today there's a big focus on microservices, for example, or using containers that can be swapped out in a way and spun up really easily. So I think that's a really important aspect of building software that can evolve as the tools that we use and the technologies available to us expand and evolve as well.
Okay. If you do it like this and build many small parts of it, don't we have the same problem we have with a monolith? Years ago, you built one big monolithic software, and nobody understands it. And nowadays, we build small parts which combine to a big system, but nobody understands it because so many small parts are there. How do you transfer the knowledge and the techniques that are necessary to build such a system in a team with probably changing team members? Don't we see the same problem as we have seen with the monolith?
I think it's a different kind of a problem. And there's also the necessity to really find a good balance. We hear people talking about, a monolith of services, right? When you just break things down much too small, right? And you have too many moving parts. So balance is a really, really important piece of that. And then one of the things I talked about in the keynote that came from Andrea Gallet was this idea of leaving communication behind, for your, future you or future team members, in the form of tests, in the form of some kind of documentation, so people understand that. But the first problem is kind of the excessiveness of the microservices in terms of maybe things are too small sometimes. So, and it's hard to learn and find that balance if you're lucky to get experience reports from people who have been through that. Vlad Kolnikov has done some great work on that and sharing their experiences in his company, in writing and in presentations that are on video. That they kind of overdid it, and they overdid the whole microservices thing and took lessons from that and then redid it, started from scratch again with microservices and found a better balance. So there's a lot of lessons to be learned. But, again, even though it's distributed architecture again, and some of those lessons, those old lessons continue to be valid, it's still, some new ideas and people have to figure it out and find where those balance points are.
Yeah, figuring out, it's said fast, but how do you do that? I mean, when you started to work in the industry 20, 30 years ago, you have a certain mindset, and today you're the same person if you've been for 30 years ago.
No, I'm not.
And yeah, you have changed in a certain part, but you have practices and you have things you like really, and new approaches you're used to.
Yeah.
How do you change this with yourself and your own approach to
that
it?
I think is a dangerous thing to stick with. Right? I think it's really important, especially, somebody who, I've been doing this for a long time. I'm in my 50s, and it's really important for me to be open-minded and, interested in learning new ways of doing things. And I don't mean learning a new technology.
Yeah.
Like, just a huge example for me is the transition to domain-driven design, right? What a huge change it made for the way I approach thinking about how I build software. So yeah, it's really nice to stay in your comfort zone.
Yeah.
But I just don't recommend it.
Okay. And can you just give us one advice maybe how to leave this comfort zone so that it doesn't hurt that much but lead you to some new paths or ways?
I think I have to rely on my own experience to share with respect to that. And one of the things that's been really wonderful for me is my ability to, the fact that I've been able to come to so many conferences and meet so many people and learn new ideas. Now, not everybody has that ability to go to conferences and get exposed to new people, but practice pulling yourself out of your comfort zone. Go watch a video on something that maybe you've been curious about, even though you're not going to do it at work or something. You just enough curiosity about, and just go learn something new. You don't have to be an expert in it, but it'll just get the juices flowing. And I think if you've been stuck in doing things the same way for a long time, you may not realize, you might not feel that you're stuck in a rut, but also getting some of those new ideas can be really energizing.
Okay, Julie, thank you for these insights, and I hope our audience is appreciating that and trying to find new ways on their own.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.